Welcome to episode 2 of our Armchair travel program, Sailing the Bahamas. My name is Mike, and I'll be your captain again. Remember from episode 1, it takes around 10 hours sailing on our 29-foot sloop to get to Bimini, the closest island in the Bahamas. And remember, we're sailing at night in the dark and in waters with depths in excess of 2,700 feet. That's 450 fathoms in pirates. 1 fathom is 6 feet to us non-pirates. And we're crossing commercial shipping and cruise lanes. Don't get run over. When you're standing watch on deck in the dark, you have duties: steering, checking weather and wind direction, trimming the sails, checking and recording your GPS coordinates, watching out for giant commercial vessels or cruise ships for 10 hours. Our first destination, Alistown, on the island of North Bimini. We departed Biscayne Bay around 8 p.m. and should arrive outside Bimini at 6 in the morning. If we've sailed and charted our course properly, we'll see land. Wake the crew! We may need to circle offshore for a time. We'll need the sun to come up high enough to see down into the water. Get out the Bimini Harbor entrance charts and proceed to anchor. Anchoring in the Bahamas takes 2 anchors to compensate for the tides that wash over the Bahama banks, first one way, then the other. Better make sure you know what direction the tides will ebb and flow. Can you see the 2 anchor lines in this photo going in opposite directions? It's also a good idea to dive down to each anchor to ensure it's seated properly in the seafloor. Hoist the quarantine flag. Can you spot the yellow quarantine flag up in the rigging of our sloop? Until your captain has checked in your boat at both customs and immigration, the quarantine flag must fly. After check-in, lower the quarantine flag and hoist the Bahamas boating or courtesy flag. Bahamas is a sovereign nation, so you must go through customs and immigration. They're in 2 buildings beside each other on the water on North Bimini. Nobody leaves the boat until the captain has checked everyone in and gets permission. Alistown and Baileytown are the only towns on North Bimini Island. Alistown is touristy. Baileytown is where the locals live. North of these 2, at the top end of Bimini, is the new Resort World's Bimini, an expensive resort spot. This photo shows Alistown. The big marina and red roof buildings in the picture, Bimini Big Game Club, a destination for Florida sport fishermen. Alistown has interesting places, like all towns and settlements in the Bahamian Islands. You must make the time and energy to seek them out. Your dinghy is your transport. This little place has visitors' clothing hanging from the ceiling. Sailors also write on the ceiling their names and the name of their boats and dates of their visit. If you ever visit, you can find my boat's name, Makani, up there as well. The Complete Angler Hotel was a modest 3-story hotel in Alistown. It contained 12 guest rooms in addition to its rowdy bar. It is notable for its association with Ernest Hemingway. In addition to Hemingway, other notable visitors have included Lucille Ball, Jimmy Buffett, and Colorado Senator Gary Hart, whose presidential aspirations were sunk in 1987 when compromising photographs were released of him at the lodge with a woman who was not his wife. When Ernest Hemingway docked his boat, the Pilar, on the shores of Bimini in 1935, he fell instantly in love. He lived on the island from 35 to 37. He spent his days out in the turquoise waters, constantly in pursuit of his next big catch. He found a beauty in the diverse marine life that ultimately inspired several of his most famous novels. Bimini became his muse. His years spent angling throughout the island's waters gave him the passion and knowledge to write The Old Man and the Sea and Islands in the Stream, winning him a Pulitzer Prize and securing Bimini as the fishing capital of the world. By the way, fishing is great from a sailboat. You're going the right speed to catch fish like mahi-mahi or banded rudderjack. That's what's pictured here. And eat sashimi as you sail. Bring your wasabi and ginger soy. Or fire up the grill for really fresh grilled fish. So many places to stop around Bimini and check out the beaches. You're all alone. Notice there's no land on the horizon. Or just enjoy the camaraderie in the cockpit, eating tomatoes, drinking beer, and getting sunburnt. Remember our boat has a draft of 4.5 feet? This is a section of Alistown Harbor. How deep does it look to you? I've seen boats with inexperienced skippers come into this area and immediately go aground. Use your charts. By the way, the name Bahamas comes from the Spanish Bahamar, which translates to shallow sea. Let's head to our next adventure. Departing Bimini and heading south. Careful, this is Gun Key. The rock is limestone. The stone is derived from the disintegration of coral reefs and seashells. A bit sharp. Can you see the lighthouse? You can anchor out and dinghy in and check out this abandoned lighthouse and its grounds. Gun Key is located 10 miles south of Bimini. The lighthouse was established in 1836 and is still operational. One white flash every 10 seconds. See the little light at the tippy top? Let's haul anchor again and head further south. You know, it sure looks like sailing is all fun, yes? Beer, cigars, napping. Not all fun. You still need to trim the sails depending on the wind direction, and it's always changing. And the boat is seldom level. Further south, just 5 more miles, and this giant wreck appears. Anchor here and spent several hours exploring the Sapona. Snorkeling was my favorite part at this site. The Sapona has a fascinating history. It was a concrete cargo ship built for use during World War I as a troop transport. It was constructed of concrete because steel was in short supply during the war. After being dismissed of military duty, a Florida developer purchased the Sapona and turned it into a casino. However, that idea was never really realized. Instead, he used the ship for oil storage. The Sapona was sold again to an ex-British war captain who came to be known as Bimini's Rum King during Prohibition. He relocated the ship and used it as a sneaky spot to stash booze. This put Bimini on the map as a smuggler's paradise. During a hurricane in 1926, the ship ran aground and was damaged substantially. Sunken, shipwrecked, and boozeless, the Sapona suffered the shame of becoming target practice during World War II. Day after day, warplanes would bombard the ship, causing it to lose most of its concrete hull. This destruction contributed to its hollowed, spooky appearance. Weirdly enough, the famous Lost Squadron, Flight 19, disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle in 1945 while returning home from a practice bombing of this ship. Target practice on the Sapona stopped shortly after that. Today, the rusty remains serve as an artificial reef for local fish and a snorkeling attraction for visitors from all over the world. The Bahamas has the clearest water in the world also. Visibility while diving is often more than 200 feet. On the left, you can see the sunken rudder of the Sapona. On the right, a school of fish. So much fun! But you do need to pay attention to your surroundings underwater. Hey, don't bug them, and usually they won't bug you. All these sharks are found in the Bahamas. Note how some are dangerous and some are not. Remember, all are dangerous. when provoked. So you're being circled by a shark. Don't panic. As the shark swims around you, keep your head on a swivel and try to maintain eye contact. Stay big or get small. Don't play dead. This isn't a bear, it's a shark. Cut off angles. Slowly back away. Other than sharks, are there other things to worry about? Well, yes, there's also the lusca, a sea monster, half shark, half octopus hybrid. It has razor-sharp teeth and multi-suckered tentacles. Local legends claim that the tidal currents of the inland blue holes are the result of the lusca breathing in and out within its lair. It's also been said there are eyewitness accounts of the lusca killing people who get too close to its lair, even dragging people off land and down into caves. Really? Wait. A three-fingered, three-toed, red-eyed, bird-like creature? A chickcharney? According to one story, a Seminole medicine man was adopted by the chickcharney when he was 14 and trained for 5 years. He then returned to his tribe in Florida and became a healer. Or according to another story, anyone who gets to see a chickcharney and pays respect to it will enjoy good fortune for the rest of his life. Here's a legend that came from the African slaves who escaped to the Bahamas from America. Bose Ananse. He has the power to endow people with the spirit of rebellion, the courage to fight for freedom, and the desire to unite or destroy kingdoms. He can also trick death and the devil. And who doesn't love a good mermaid story? Some believe her to be an elusive mermaid that lives in Pretty Molly Bay. Others say she's the ghost of a slave that committed suicide by walking into the water. Many locals claim that she can be seen haunting the beach every night. Pretty Molly Bay and beach are on Little Exuma Island. Unfortunately, that's a bit further south than we are traveling today. Speaking of myths or legend, what about Bimini Road? One of the most compelling pieces of archaeology put forth by believers in the vanished city of Atlantis is Bimini Road. This is an underwater rock formation located just off the coast of the Bahamian island of North Bimini. The road rests on the seafloor about 18 feet below the surface and runs straight for about half a mile before ending in a curved, graceful hook. The road is made up of limestone blocks, most of them cut in rectangular shapes, and appears to have been originally cut with right angles. There's no explanation as to how these neatly aligned blocks ended up here.